the artist dilemma is that artists are never good at business, but they are great at their craft and creating the content. And the business people are typically never great at creating content. And that is why there's a symbiotic relationship there. So what we're talking about is how advertising works on Twitch, right? Or anywhere, really, just how it works in general. And the gist of it is this. You have a t-shirt, and a typical t-shirt sells for, I want to sell my Nash Nation t-shirt, okay? I'm going to sell it for $20. It costs me $6 to make one, which is pretty standard. These are just numbers I know because I do manufacturing stuff. It costs like $6.60. We're going to call it $6. We're going to call it $6. Okay? $6 to make the shirt. Okay. So I'm selling it for $20. So for me to make a profit, it needs to cost me less than $14 to make a profit. Does that make sense? Because between this is what's called a margin, and the margin is $14 in this case. Okay, if it costs me $5 to make the shirt, I have an extra dollar. I can spend $15. There's a lot of ways that I can spend money to get your attention. Maybe I can pay an influencer. Maybe I can pay a CPC. I can do paid channel marketing, like Facebook, stuff like that. Just if it is that's how it works. So so then the question becomes, how do I spend this $14 most effectively? Back in the day, it started with direct response marketing. What you would do is, like, there were these old ads, and it's like, I wonder if we can find some like old magazine clip out ads. They were hilarious. This stuff, you might remember this stuff, and this started up in like the 1950s, and it was the same stuff as it is today. It was like, you're a puny man, no muscle, you got to get a girl, nobody's gonna like you, become the alpha male, and it like shows like a big strong guy. And it's like this, right? He's like muscular, and it's like all the exhilarating joys of life, strength, and youth, right? And it gives you this stuff. It was called web copy. It's called copywriting is what it is. So copy means like you're writing stuff to sell for people. And this was direct response, and all marketing came from this. So when I started studying marketing, the first thing I studied was direct response marketing. This is how I started. I went through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of old ad magazine ads because the psychology of people hasn't never changed. You can use the same stuff, it still sells. You could literally copy and paste the old magazine stuff, and it will still sell. No, even with these old ass pictures, nothing updated, it will still sell because the psychology of human beings never changes. So the selling psychology of human beings, the buying psychology of human beings never changes, I promise. But that's just a different subject. Anyway, so that evolved into like billboards, that evolved into like banner ads. You remember like the first part of the internet was banner ads. Everything was banner ads. It was all like these big things that you would click on. And banner ads, there were banner ads that had a click-through rate of 90%. You could, like, 9 out of 10 people would click on a banner ad and go through and see what it was. Nowadays, nobody clicks on banner ads. And then from there, it moved into email. And then from email, it moved into paid channel, which is now like Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. And it'll move into something else later. Influencer marketing is the current iteration, right? So I have a lot of ways that I could spend this $14. I could still spend this $14 on billboards. But if I put a billboard of my Nash Nation t-shirt for Twitch TV up, it's probably not going to do that well, right? If I spend some money and I put a billboard on like a freeway, I don't think anybody's going to buy my t-shirt doing that. So probably what I would do if I had my $14, and obviously this is like 14, we expect to sell like 500 shirts, right? I don't know. So it's really 14 times 500. So my marketing budget is somewhere in the realm of, $7,000 or so. It's going to be less, right? Because I don't want to break even. I want to make profit, but whatever, $6,000. So maybe I'll take my $6,000 and I will go pay an influencer. So I'll go on Instagram and I'll DM, 5 people. And I'll say, hey, you have a respectable following, Devin Nash, right? You got 36,000 followers. You should advertise my t-shirt. And I'll go, yeah, sure, I'll advertise my own t-shirt. That makes sense to me. And then I'll pay myself to do that. I don't know, it's a bad example, but right, you pay random influencers, whatever. And the idea is that is more effective. So the question is, so then the market understands what's effective and what isn't, right? So advertising with a person like Reckful for people to play League of Legends is more valuable than advertising on a billboard. It's also more valuable than a lot of things. It's more valuable than calling people on the phone and telling them to play League of Legends. It's more valuable than sending them a letter in the mail. And so all these things have value. And that value is reflected in a concept called CPM, which is cost per 1,000, either like impressions, views, or whatever. And your CPM, it's a dollar amount. So your CPM could be, I don't know, $5. Okay. But the CPM for someone like Recful might be $10, but the CPM for a billboard might be like 35 cents, right? I don't know what it is. The point being that basically in marketing, you have more value when you are looking at something that is more effective because it converts better, just sells better. And that is why Bounty Board is so much higher for those people. Bounty Board is higher for people that can convert better and for people that have greater viewership because the value that is attached to those viewers is insane. There may be no better platform to do calls to action in existence than Twitch. Maybe Instagram. I think Instagram probably is for certain influencers. If the streamers on this platform weren't so ballistically papega and they had any understanding of business at all, they would realize that having 50,000 people in front of you is such a massive value add that you can literally change the world with those kind of numbers. You can change votes. You can change elections. You can make businesses rise and fall. You can collapse empires. It's an insane amount of power. It's unreal. But people like Soda Poppin, who literally have like negative business sense, right? And it's not a criticism, it's just objectively true. I would stand in front of him and tell him that he would agree. Just don't understand it. And funny enough, and the world works in a way that it's like the very reality that he doesn't understand that is what gets people to watch him in the first place. Because if you're like me and you understand like the business side of it, then innately you're less accessible. Your content's just not as interesting as that. So it's like, that's actually crazy to me. The artist dilemma is that artists are never good at business, but they are great at their craft and creating the content. And the business people are typically never great at creating content. And that is why there's a symbiotic relationship there, right? That's why talent has managers. That's why Nerd Fusion exists, is because we're able to close that gap and provide value there in that empty space. I think Pokey is pretty good at managing her brand. Is she an outlier? She is absolutely an outlier, and that is why I talk about Pokey being an absolute genius all the time. Pokey is a insanely good influencer, and I literally talk about her regularly because I think that she breaks that mold, and certain people do. When you get a person that understands business and then also understands how to create good content, you get a powerhouse. And those are really rare. Ninja is such a thing, right? That's why Ninja actually got a lot through like Jay Ghosty, his wife that understands this stuff. That's why you got Ninja to like just Herculean levels of success, like being on like Leno and like being on like Ellen show and all that stuff. That's because he understood how to leverage an audience. Now, every streamer that is at that level is capable of doing that, but they just don't understand that. Or don't have people that understand it. Same thing.